everybody. I know you're trying to get in. There's a bit of a cluster at the back if you want to find a spot. Also, there are a few spots kind of between people. If you guys don't mind sort of just like actually sitting more next to each other so that people can get seats. That would be awesome. Cool. Yeah, we're going to kick off in like a minute. So, yes, we're going to be on time. Cool. All right, I'll let a few more people sit down. Maybe as we're waiting, I am curious, did anyone here also go to ZK Hack this weekend? Oh, wow. Amazing. Do we have some hackers? Yes. So, yeah, I'm not sure if you all know about this. This is I'm trying to think, it's the 5th day of events that me and my team have been doing. So, yeah, we did a 3-day hackathon, or 2-day hackathon this weekend. I'm going to tell you a little bit about it in the presentation. It's called ZK Hack Lisbon. It's very exciting. Yeah, okay, I think we should start. So welcome to the Zero Knowledge Summit 9. I kind of can't believe we're at 9. This is so cool. Welcome to this event in Lisbon. Can you guys go back to the very beginning of the slide deck? I think you started in the middle. Let's see now. Nope. Do you guys mind? Or should I go back myself? It's, okay. Sorry, guys, I'm going to give it all away. Okay, all the way back, all the way back, all the way back, all the way back, all the way back. Whoa, okay, the whole thing. And finished. Okay. So the Zero Knowledge Summit is an event that's presented by the Zero Knowledge podcast, of which I am the host, and I have some of my co-hosts here as well. Zero Knowledge podcast has been around for a little while, and yeah, I use this time often to kind of share a little bit about this community in general, the podcast, the summit, other things that we're doing. So this podcast, I don't know if maybe you don't know it, but it's been running weekly since 2018. It first started October 2017. And in January 2018, we said, we're going to try to do this as a weekly show. At the time, I had my co-host, Frederick. And then in March 2018, we launched the first zkSummit. And I'm pretty sure this was the first zero knowledge-focused event that happened, so that's kind of cool. And now we are at 9. In October 2021, we also kind of initiated the ZK Hack project, which is like a learning hub. I'll tell you a little bit about it. And now I'm very excited that here, this weekend, we did, for the first time, an IRL hackathon, ZK Hack Lisbon. So on the episodes front, on the podcast front, we're at 277 episodes and counting. There's lots of great content to explore if you want. Yeah. And I always use this to sort of highlight a few of the top episodes. So these are the most listened to. And we have 2 new additions this time around. We have new ZK use cases with Dan Bonnet. That was episode 256. It was a very good one. I recommend it. And we also have proofs, arguments, and zero knowledge proofs with Justin Thaler. So yeah, those 2 episodes kind of popped up. Information theory and blockchain with Sriram, I think, is currently the most popular of all. Yeah. So yeah, a little bit more about ZK Hack. As mentioned, it's a learning hub. So where the podcast is often just like, it's a lot of zero knowledge, but not only zero knowledge. We talk about a pretty broad set of topics. ZK Hack is very much for zero knowledge, like education, learning, building. And we have a Discord that's quite active, and we have the website zkhack.dev if you want to check out all the things we have going on. There you can find, we have ZK Mesh, which is our monthly newsletter. You have the ZK Whiteboard sessions, which are like really good onboarding if you're still kind of new to ZK, so do check it out. And yeah, I just want to again highlight ZK Hack Lisbon. I know we have a tweet going out, I think today on the ZK Hack Twitter, where we shared all the winners. I really recommend checking out what came out of this hackathon. We were very much impressed. I think it definitely went past our expectations. We kind of weren't sure if if anyone could build really anything with some of the tooling, and they did, and they built really cool things. And I think that shows a very significant moment for this ecosystem, that we're really stepping into the moment where people can build applications more easily with a lot of this stuff. I think it's going to change and accelerate what we have. If you're curious where so the ZK Hack event is actually over on our YouTube channel, but also the videos from the stages and all of the talks today will be over on the Zero Knowledge Podcast YouTube channel. There's also a lot of other cool stuff there, like the study clubs. I do recommend checking it out if you want to find out just sort of more about all of the things that we're doing. And I also want to highlight the jobs board. So we have a ZK-focused jobs board. I think we've had this for like 2 years now. And I just want to highlight this because a lot of the sponsors here today have jobs posted, and they're fresh jobs. So if you're looking for a new opportunity, check that out. You can find it if you go to the Zero Knowledge website. There's jobs board is like one of the headings. And yeah, you can find us on Twitter, and we have a link tree with all of these links. Do check it out. So now let's talk a little bit about the event. Zero Knowledge Summit 9. Ooh, this is a little stuck. It's our 9th edition. I have to say this is quite wild. The first edition had, I think, 120 to 150 people, and it stayed at that level for many years. We then did 2 online during COVID, and then when we brought it back last year, we started to get around 350, like it had definitely changed size. But this time around, we had over 800 applicants, and we have now over 500 attendees, and it's surreal and amazing. So thank you all for being here. It's crazy. Yeah. I want to share a bit about what we have kind of set up for you. We have our main stage, which is here. We have a side stage, which I will say is like really large as well. It's kind of like 2 main stages. They're both very, very big. There's a breakout stage, which fits about 50, and there's a workshop room where you're going to have about 20 people. For the breakouts, in the afternoon, there's also going to be workshops hosted there. And I would say if you're planning on doing a workshop, go with the intention of really engaging. Bring your laptop, ask a lot of questions. It's meant to be very interactive. We also have a co-working area upstairs, and yeah, I think you'll be able to explore a little bit the space. I don't think I have a slide about the program. I want to make one quick correction, because I know somebody pointed this out. On the printouts, on your lanyards, and on our signs, we accidentally put, for our final talk, both like the one before and that one at 5. It's 5:30. It's just afterwards. So just we saw it. Sorry about that. Yeah. Password. There's no password on this, and I believe you should be able to find this quite easily, so check out the Wi-Fi if you need it. I want to say, I don't know if the team is all here, but I want to say a massive thank you already to this team, and especially to Agnieszka. Is she here? Oh, no, I think she's outside. This event, I mean, not only this event, but ZK Hack and this event was very much like Agnieszka's effort and energy. So she's not here, but I still want to give a big clap out. I want to just clap for Agnieszka. Thank you so much. Yeah. I'll tell her. Rachel was working with us this entire time on speaker management and attendee management, so thank you, Rachel. There's me doing a little bit. There's Henrik, who is, you might actually recognize his name. He's also the podcast editor. He used to do all the film work here. This time around, he was the kind of AV advisor to us, and he's going to be hosting the side stage with Alex Pruden. But yeah, Henrik is also the person who made the jingle for the show. So if you like that, that's his music. And I want to say a big thank you to Kobe, who helped on the backside with programming. So yeah. So let me thank our sponsors, our fantastic sponsors who really came together to put this on with us. Our platinum sponsors this time around, returning sponsors are Alio and Anoma, and first-time platinum sponsors Jump Crypto. So thank you to these top sponsors for coming on board. Maybe we'll clap that. We can't do it without them. I think that needs to be, yeah. We have our gold sponsors, zkSync Era, Lambda Class, and Risk Zero. And actually, all 6 of these teams have booths outside, so you can actually meet those folks. And they also, most of them have jobs on the jobs board. So yeah, I just want to highlight that. We have our silver sponsors, Scroll, Polychain, 1KX, Fenbushi Capital, and Lemniscape. I think I'm saying that right? Lemniscap? Sorry. And we have our community sponsors, Sysmo, Geometry, Aztec, Espresso Systems, Celestia, Snarkify, Panther, Sunscreen, Gnosis Chain, and Ironfish. So thank you to all of the sponsors for coming on board for zkSummit 9. Yeah. Cool. So now it's fun. So I think you all noticed, so we do this application form every year. And it's kind of hard to do. Like, I know there's a lot of questions, but it's really useful what we learned from this. And we always ask kind of a question. And I have to say, zkSummit 1, we had asked something like, what is zero knowledge? You know, because we didn't know it back then. But they've become progressively harder, more in the weeds. And so we asked this question on the forum, and I'm going to share with you a few of the answers that we got. So the question was, how would you explain the lookup argument to a friend? It's a mathematical proof that a thing is within a thing. Some relations are hard to express using low-degree polynomials, which is the typical language of ZK. To model these, we can simply list all tuples that satisfy the relation and add a constraint saying that a tuple is in the list. I think this is quite good. How would you explain the lookup argument to a friend? Look it up. And we got a lot of those. We got look up. Don't look down, do look up. Anyway, a lot of these. It's like a note of things you need to quickly recall. Lookup arguments is a pre-written list of things that it can be. I think can't actually shouldn't be there, but. It is the main character featured in the Jungle Book. Ah, no, that's Baloo. It's actually a material used to seal joints in pipes. Ah, no, that's Kulk. Maybe it's just a protocol for proving that the elements in a committed vector form a subset of the elements in a preprocessed vector commitment. All right. How would you explain the lookup argument to a friend? Someone just posted the whiteboard session video with Mary Mahler's lookup arguments for performance optimization. I liked that. It's like giving the proof system permission to bring a one-page cheat sheet for the exam. And Nico, who helped me with this was his favorite answer. And then one answer was, I wouldn't because all of my friends know that already. Yes, I have a weird set of friends, and I think your friends may all be here. But yeah, thank you all for these great answers. It's always fun to see what you come up with here. I want to sort of mention one last thing. I don't know if you're aware of this, and maybe don't turn it on right here, but there's this project that Kobe created called zkpod.ai. It's a LLM. He fed it with all of the podcast transcripts. You can ask it a question like, what is a lookup argument? And then get my voice answering sometimes correctly. It's not perfect. It's something we're working on. But I kind of wanted to mention it here. If you hadn't seen it on Twitter, you might want to check it out. And I also want to mention it because this is sort of like a very experimental project that we're playing with. I mean, it's very much Kobe's, but it's my voice, so I'm sort of involved in it. But yeah, I think we are looking for people who might want to work with us on stuff like this. And actually not only this, generally for the show, for the events, for the hackathon. If you're really looking to get involved, I'd love to kind of hear from you if you're looking for a new opportunity. You can look on our jobs board, or you can actually get in touch with us if you want to work on any of these projects. So I would say find us on Twitter, zknowledge.fm, and then send maybe a note in DM, and then we'll kind of get you into a funnel there. But yeah, I wanted to do that. I usually, in the past, I haven't really felt the need to sort of put that call out, but things are growing really quickly right now. And yeah, I'm definitely looking for new people to join our team. So that brings me to the end of my intro. Welcome again to the Zero Knowledge Summit. I hope the day is amazing. I am very excited for the talks that we're going to see. Yeah, and I hope you're excited as well. Can you put the slides back on, please? sir. Thank you. Okay, I now want to bring up our platinum sponsors to share a little bit about, kind of what got them interested in this event and what they're working on. So first, if Raul from Jump Crypto could come up. There you go.
Hey everybody, how's it going? Hopefully you're not as jet lagged as I am. But yeah, really excited to be here. I just wanted to share a couple of notes about what Jump Crypto is, what we do, and like why we're even interested in this space. So Jump Crypto started out, as kind of the crypto sort of arm of Jump Trading, which is a quantitative trading group. Does high HFT sort of trading stuff, trades like a bunch of different asset classes around the world. We're based in Chicago, Illinois. But we started in 2015, kind of core like bread and butter trading stuff. Over the past few years, we've really expanded into a bunch of different efforts, venture, building in the space, doing, contributing to a bunch of different open source projects. A few of them, I'll talk about them right now. So Wormhole is a big one. It's a cross-chain messaging protocol that's now living across 22 different chains. And so there's, we've put in a lot of effort in terms of like contributing to these open source initiatives. Pith is another one, which is a high fidelity data oracle that brings price information on chain. And then right now, we're contributing to FireDancer, which is a low latency validator client for Solana written in C++. On the ZK side, and the applied crypto side, we're sort of just getting into the space. And so last year, we participated in the zPrize, which I'm sure you guys have heard of. So we helped accelerate, MSM and NTT on FPGA, as well as being like large sponsors. And right now, we're working on a bunch of different initiatives within the team, including Silo, which is an MPC in-house custody solution that we use, basically on a day-to-day basis. And now we're looking to kind of expand these efforts, see what we can do with Zero Knowledge, and kind of contribute to the ecosystem with various different open source initiatives as well. So really excited to be here. Thanks, guys.
Great. All right, next up, I want to invite Alex to the stage, who's going to share a little bit from Aleo, to share a bit about zPrize.
Hey everybody, how's it going? I'm Alex. I am the CEO of Aleo, and I'm also the co-host, I guess, of zkSummit. I'm going to be on the side stage, so some of you might see me over there later. But right now, I'm not going to talk about either of those things. I'm going to talk about what was just referenced up here, which is zPrize, which some of you, well, anyone who's been to a prior zkSummit has probably seen me give a variant of a talk about zPrize, so you may have heard of it before. But it's something that I'm really excited about because it's something that encompasses, I think, our entire space and our entire industry. And the intention behind zPrize was to kind of make an xPrize-like thing for accelerating zero-knowledge cryptography. We started it last year, ran a competition, that just some quick stats. We had 32 partners, 20 sponsors across both Web 2 and Web 3. We had hardware companies like AMD providing hardware and Samsung providing mobile phones. And you name, it's the who's who of people in ZK and Web 3. We had 140 people apply to compete, 24 submissions across 12 different prize categories. So overall, the goal was accelerating ZK, and we, I think, achieved that, at least through the lens of looking at hardware and setting some standards for some of these low-level algorithms, such as multiscalar multiplication and NTT. So really proud of the success there. We actually have for anyone who's curious and likes Anna's show, a little QR code here for the 2 episodes in which we covered hardware acceleration for Snarks and did it through the lens of zPrize. We interviewed 1 of the architects and 3 of the competitors. And so you can find out a little bit more. And also, for anyone who's interested, all the entries, I forgot to mention a very important thing, all of that work was open sourced. And we have this repo here that I've linked in the bottom corner. And all of that, anyone who's interested in, what the fastest MSM implementation looks like on a Samsung phone, you can find that here, as well as all the entries that were submitted, not just the winning ones. Okay, so now, and I guess I should say the thing that there we go. I think the thing that I'm really happy about is that this is already, like I said, becoming effectively the reference and the baseline by which others are basing their work, right? So this was kind of, zPrize was meant to be the beginning, not the end. It was meant to be the foundation that others built upon. So it's great to see that already happening. Okay, so that's where we are. Now where are we going? So, zPrize started, it was a brainchild of me and a few other people about a year ago. And then, as I said, a lot of other folks came together to make it successful. Now, where do we go from here? So today, what this is a nonprofit, again, focused on accelerating zero-knowledge cryptography, right? I organized it along with a few other people we basically, Aleo contributed a lot of resources, and of course sponsors from around the world and across the industry contributed money. Where I would like to take this, and the direction we're going to start going as we look into the next iteration of zPrize, is making it decentralized, turning it into a DAO, having it be a community-owned, industry-wide project that we can all contribute to. So that's where we're going. And ideally, that will open up the aperture for many, many more people to contribute, and for many, many more people to contribute solutions to problems that face the industry as it evolves. So I'm going to talk a little bit about this here, but I would really encourage anyone who's interested in this concept or thought that zPrize was kind of a cool and interesting initiative and is interested in getting involved to check out zPrize.io. But the short answer, or the kind of the short form version, is there's a lot to do. Like, this is building a DAO from scratch, right? So not only do we need to build a community, but everyone who who has the ability and or willingness to contribute absolutely would welcome your help. And on that path, we have a steering committee. Steering committee consists of myself, John Reynolds, who's also at Aleo, who helped me with some of the logistics, Anna Rose, who's volunteered to come on board and help this time, as well as Luke Pearson. And by the way, the steering committee is not limited to these four. So if anyone has someone they would like to nominate for the steering committee, you can send me a message. I got the contact info at the last slide. But absolutely want this to be a group of people, leading industry experts, who can help define two things the steering committee will do. One, define the structure of what the DAO will look like to ensure that it accomplishes the goals of zPrize. And two, to run the second competition. So you kind of see these like parallel track efforts on the slide behind me. So that's where we are now. There'll be a steering committee consisting of these folks and others that potentially get included that will run the second competition, bringing on sponsors, identifying architects, inviting competitors, judging all the results. And so we'll do zPrize 2 all over again, just like we did zPrize 1. But also, hopefully, by the end of zPrize 2, this thing will be a DAO that lives out in the world. And then the DAO will determine where it goes. Do we want to have a hardware focus? Do we want to look at applications? Do we want to do ZK, or do we want to open the aperture to focus on FHE or other things? All of these questions are going to be what the DAO contemplates. And this is kind of the way I think about it, is the Gitcoin for ZK kind of idea. So last thing I'm going to leave you with, my last slide here, is maybe this is some motivation for why you should think about doing this, if this is even of passing interest. This is a quote from one of the competitors who actually did quite well in the competition, won one of the categories. But this person had no background in ZK, had no background in cryptography. They just were really good at GPUs and programming on NVIDIA GPUs. And and they got into the space, and now they're actually they're speaking at a number of conferences about their work. And I think this was the really cool thing about this initiative, is that it brought new people in who maybe had never seen this before, but realized that they had something special to contribute. And so I hope that both in zPrize 2 and in the future zPrize DAO, we can continue to do that and grow the space with talented people that we'll need to ultimately succeed. So thank you very much. For nominations to the steering committee, or just to learn more, here's some contact info. There's my Telegram right there, and then you can use interest at zprize.io. Lastly, zprize.io, the website, you can go on, and there's a Discord group that you can join there. Thank you all very much. Oh, and here's some QR codes for the Discord specifically.
So cool. And Alex, we were kind of saying that I think at a previous summit, we had actually seen sort of earlier iterations of this, so it's so cool to see where it's going. I'm excited to be part of it. Awa from Anoma is now going to share a little bit about them.
See if it works. It works. Hey everyone, I'm Awa. I work on Namada and Anoma. So the question I've been trying to figure out for the last 2 years is, what the fuck is Anoma? And we're getting there. So actually, who here has heard about Anoma? Could you raise your hands? Wow, so everyone has heard about Anoma, and do you know what it is? It's like 10% of people who raise their hands know actually what Anoma is. So, okay, I'm here to help you out. Anoma is an intent-centric privacy-preserving protocol for decentralized counterparty discovery, solving, and multi-chain atomic settlement. That doesn't help, right? But if you had to remember one thing from this tagline, just remember that it is an intent-centric architecture. So this is the key principle behind the design of Anoma, which is that users authorize their desired state transitions as preferences. They do not authorize transactions in the case of the Bitcoin model, or they do not authorize execution traces, which is the case of the Ethereum model and Ethereum-like architectures. So this gives actually birth to a third generation of architectures. And we actually think that this is going to bring in new economics and new market structures. Some of these examples are decentralized sequencing, pretty hot topic nowadays. Collaborative solving and block building, I think some of the teams are working on something like this. And this one you will find really interesting, which is decentralized markets for provers. So just remember one thing about Anoma. If people ask you, what is Anoma? Just remember to say an intent-centric architecture. So part of Anoma's architecture is Taiga. It is the unified execution environment. It's the part that has a lot of crypto. And there are a lot of questions that we get asked frequently, like what is the difference between Taiga, ZK, ZK, so on? How does Taiga enable composable privacy? How does it enable decentralized counterparty discovery, and so on? I will not answer these questions. Go to Julia's talk later at the breakout stage at 11 UTC. Another part of the Anoma ecosystem is actually a project called Vampire. You can think of Vampire as the LLVM for polynomial circuits. And very important, Vampire is not Anoma specific. It is front-end and proof system agnostic. And our purpose behind Vampire is to have a project that pushes forward standards. So it is not going to be Anoma specific. If you would like to learn more about Vampire, Joshua is hosting a workshop very hands-on on Vampire. And you might know Joshua for a really popular article that he wrote about Plonk by hands. So it's going to be really cool. Here's an extra incentive. So we have the first edition 0 of the Vampire stickers. These are from 2023. They're limited, they're really, really scarce. And we're only handing them out to people who participate in the workshop. There will be one workshop here, and there might be more this year. But the ones who get this year, and in the future, Vampire actually becomes a standard for second languages, then the ones who will know. So yeah, try grab them before they run out. All right, I am obliged to mention Namada, which is another project that we're working on. And Namada's purpose is to shape multi-chain privacy in providing the best privacy guarantees for the multi-chain user. And I have to tell you because we're launching mainnet really soon. So how does Namada provide the best privacy guarantees for the multi-chain user? I am writing an article that explains this like step by step. It's actually pretty interesting. But the spoiler, the TLDR of the article is that size matters, and the shape too. So if you'd like to read this article when it comes out, just follow me on Twitter. I will publish it there, and follow Namada. It's probably going to be visible through there too. Thank you.
All right, so that ends the intro of the zkSummit, and we will now be starting on programming. We are actually opening up right now 3 stages. So here, we're going to be hearing from Brian Redford from RiskZero on the future ZK, emerging use cases and key enablers. On the side stage, we have F. Flonk in the ZK EVM with Hector Masip. And on the breakout stage, we have lookup arguments based on logarithmic derivatives. So choose your stages, and we kick off.